many leading magazines of India. Now, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for good introduction. I actually don't deserve. I am a learner basically, and I always start my presentation with thanks to Almighty, my family. And now time to mention the name of my mentors who supported, guided, and
Sir,
encouraged.
Rajesh, sir, your voice is creating echo, actually. It is repeating, if I'm not wrong.
Okay,
I, yes, sir.
is it okay right now?
So do you have two different microphones with you?
Dr.
Right.
Rajesh, you have two equipments online, two
Two
instruments
microphones.
online.
That is creating a problem. You will have to switch off one. But it's very audible now, very clear.
Actually, I am not connected with any system.
Ma'am, you try to mute yourself.
Rajesh,
I think you are using speaker.
everybody's voice is echoing.
Now, sir, please try to speak.
Is it okay?
Now it's
Yes.
okay, sir. Yes.
Now it's okay.
Okay. Now time to mention the names of my mentors who supported, guided, encouraged, and have been instrumental in my journey of learning, and without which it wouldn't have been possible to reach here where I am right now. And that name start with the respected PP Vahi sir, Anjali Chandra ma'am, Sahil sir, Pramod sir, Dr. Kamal Bansal, P. Ramachandran sir, Apao sir, who is also there. Thank you, sir. And KK Murthy sir, he is also present. KK Gupta ji, NK Mittal ji, Sanjay Agarwal ji, Amit Bhatia ji, Sanjay Patki ji, PK Patnaik, Dr. Rajamani sir, Harish Mehta sir, Manas Kundu ji, Yogesh Sood ji, Dr. Vikas, Gopa Kumar, Sanjeev Banerjee, my friend Saket Gupta, Varun Nitesh, and finally, again, I would like to thank Almighty and Vishan Dutt and SK Batra from CVIP. Now, time to start very important topic. I am going to share right now my presentation. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir. Please make it a full
Yes,
screen.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I am
Perfect, sir.
perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
First
yes.
of all, I welcome all the participants and respected IAEMP members who have joined, and my friends, my mentors who have joined on my invitation. And today I'm going to talk the very favorite topic of mine, that is electrical safety and electrical earthing grounding system. It is not matter of my choice of my interest, but safety should be available and the grounding should be available in every sphere of your life. In your life also you should be down to earth, otherwise you will get kind of conflict in your life also. And I am Rajesh Arora, a learner who also always ready to learn from mentors, and I'm going to start my presentation now. Every time there are some disaster, there are some fires, we come across many news. Cyclone happened at Saurashtra regions, many people died, house damage. After every disaster, we have to on our toes to get the problem rectified. We have to work very hard. Now, question is why I have been invited here. Reason is very simple. Because I want to see my India free of electrical accident. That is my motto of my life. And I believe that safety is a matter of choice. We can make it. And safety is not a subject of training. It is a culture. We have to develop it. And I want to separate the message of safety by my pledge, RPDGUI. What is RPDGUI? It is Raje Pledge for Development of Grounding Understanding in India. And let us work together to make India free of electrical accidents, specifically because of poor or inadequate grounding earthing system. And I know each pledge matters. And at the end of this session, I would like to request everyone to take that pledge. Electrocution. If you open any newspaper, every alternate day, every day you get a news of electrocution. And that electrocution kills nearly 30 Indians a day. Yes, 30 Indians. Mind it. It's a huge number, especially because of electrocution. And we are responsible for all these things. Our negligence are responsible for all these things. We have to work in that direction. The problem is that whenever you see any fire in any building or any industry, and recently there were many fires during that pandemic, many fires occurred in many hospitals and many patients were died. They were already struggling with that pandemic and there was second attack of fire. But if you look at the analysis of every fire that occurred in our systems in India, the blame goes to electrical short circuit. Every time we blame electrical short circuit. Every report, every committee finally point their fingers on electrical negligence safety. And why don't we learn from our past experiences and make ourselves ready to face that challenges? Why don't we work hard to make our India, because of such incident or accident, we have to ponder over it. This is not a case of human life. It's a case related to the lives of animals also. Electricity even don't spare animals, living stock. Whosoever comes in contact, and when your protection system fails and current starts flowing through your body, it is bound to happen. No one can stop it. It's not matter of a day or two. We have to work very hard from designing to implementation, from implementation to uses. We have to look at the coordination system, protection coordination. We have to do the condition monitoring. We have to be very much careful while connecting it with earth. We should be very much careful when it comes to contamination, ingress of water or air. We should be very much careful when it comes to clearances to be maintained. We should be careful when it comes to the good quality. We have to look into all these factors. With all these ingredients, we can surely make a safe India. So far, electrical accidents are concerned. We have to change our mindset. And every journey starts with a single step. We have to take that step towards that change. All these news, these running news on channels, social media or newspaper, gives me pain. Gives me pain to many Indians. We have to work in that direction. In every rainy seasons, you get news and it becomes viral on social media. I have taken that photos from one of the viral video. In that video, you can see one boy was touching one electric pole during rainy season and he got electrocuted. One lady in the second picture got electrocuted. Many such messages are becoming viral on social media. But how to stop? Who will stop? Who is responsible? I am responsible. You are equally responsible. We all are responsible. These are the answers. We are losing our assets of crores, millions of rupees because of that fire, electrical fire. Apart from that, we lost interruption. We lost continuity of supply. There is interruption of supply. We deal with interruption. We deal with reliability of power. With one outage of any transformer, that complete area go in the dark. You have to invest again money. You have to get approval from regulatory commission of that concerned state to provide new asset, and it has direct impact on your tariff. Every asset will lose because of any reasons has direct impact on your pocket. Finally, that is going to be the part of error of that distribution company, and you will be paying from your pocket. This is a financial matter, apart from the invaluable, priceless lives of humans and living stocks. Time to wake up. We have to make people aware. We can't sit idle. Sitting idle is not the solution. Blaming government, blaming societies is not the solution. We have to give our contribution. We have to start giving our contribution in that direction. And it is well-known fact that the charity starts from home. Now, time to involve all the participants. Are you doing that charity at home or not? Let's check. My question is, what is the most important thing in your life? One thing you can't live without. Kindly type your answer in the chat box. And Poonam ma'am, you are requested to kindly read it out because I don't have access to that chat box.
Yes, sir, sure. Prashant Nair says oxygen.
Very true.
Tarun Bhatia says family. And Saif Qureshi says family.
Any other answer?
Ashish Sharma ji says electricity. And some more answer for electricity and internet. Sachin Kasa says Maheshwar ji air. And Rakesh Jain food. Krishna
Our life.
Kumar good health.
All answers are very correct. Now, I would like to
And
give
Krishna
the
Kumar
answer
good
what I
health.
thought. The answer is your mobile. You start your day with mobile and you end the day with, because that is the most important gadget for all family members you live in.
Ma'am, please mute. Yes, thank you.
Now, why did I ask this question? For that mobile that you are using, that all your family members are using, needs one charger. We talk about big things about safety, but to be very honest, have you ever taken any attention towards safety related to that charger of your mobile phone, charger of your laptop, of your any other charger of any small gadgets you are using at home? We spend lakhs of rupees on mobile phone when it comes to safety of your family or yourself, and that is related with the use of that charger. We neglect it. We never look at this IEC code or IS 13252 part 1 or IC 60950 part 1. We never look at that square in square symbol that ensure double insulation. We don't show that attention. We take all these things for granted. This is the point where the charity starts from home. You never give attention while purchasing wire. You don't give attention while purchasing MCB for your home. Even wire you are not looking into. There are many things I'm going to explain one by one. This is the very first thing. I am starting from home. I am starting from the domestic safety. Then I will move to MV system, then HV system. I don't want to switch directly to EHV system substation. I want to start with the basic. I hope next time whenever you see that charger of any gadget at your home, you will going to see that symbols and IS code. I'm quite sure. There is no doubt about it. And you will be start contributing your bit towards safety. Now come back to again the real story. Now look at the data. What data says? Data says 42% fire incidents are caused by fault, defects, or use of non-standard electrical products, leading to short circuit. "13 deaths recorded every day in India due to electrocution and fire triggered by electrical short circuit. 8% of deaths in factory are attributed to electricity. Many such data are available on public domain. I am not here to talk about the data. I am here to talk about the cause and prevention. I am here to make people aware. I am not data analytic that going to do analysis of the data. Many experts are there who are doing all these things. But my concern is safety. Fire, death, loss of assets, tariff, public awareness. Let's move further. Time to understand time to understand the importance of all these factors I have discussed so far. I may be discussing designing of earthing system in many other webinars to come. But first of all, we have to understand the concern. The concern that gives pains to many Indians, including me. Very simple, basic. There are basically three major factors. Voltage, current, and frequency. When we talk about electrical accidents, fire, loss of equipments, the story revolves around these three factors. Apart from negligence, human errors. I am now talking about technical things first. When you talk about voltage, you have to provide good insulation. When we talk about current, you have to provide sufficient cross-sectional area that has capability to withstand that short circuit current that may happen in your system. For that, you must have good knowledge about the short circuit calculation. When I say frequency, it is basically related to the harmonics being generated by use of electronics gadgets at home, in our industry, in our substations, solid state devices. We assume 50 hertz frequency, but actually this is not only 50 hertz. There are so many harmonics. With harmonics, your total harmonic distortion factors, your power factor decreases, and with that decrease in the power factor, your current requirement increases, and more heats you are generating at your area you are working in because of this harmonics. Many good mentors are working in that direction. I am not going to discuss that thing in detail. I am just trying to touch upon the area that are area of concern. Electrical system. We say fire. We talk about insulation failure. We talk about electrocution. We talk about touch potential, step potential, GPR. So many factors are coming in the picture. But basically, for every electrical system you come across, you have only two choices. Grounding system or ungrounded system. You don't have other option. When your system is grounded, that is called earthy system. When it is not grounded, that becomes unearthed. And in the absence of earth, there will be unearthed. But there are area where you have to maintain that continuity of supply, specifically in some medical area, some hospitals, some specific industry where you can't bear with any fault. But with all these systems, you have to be very much careful. I am thankful to Gopal sir. I have taken that slide from his presentation. He is a real enthusiastic, passionate person about electrical safety. We always talk about that earthing and IS 732. We have to choose. We must have good overcurrent protective device, we have to have that ELCB. And to understand that system, further we have to understand the earthing. Why we need earthing? The reasons, the answer. First, very simple answer. We have to provide a return path up to the source. But do you think that electrode connected in soil can provide very effective path to that fault current up to the source? No. It can't be a as good source as the source given by some dedicated conductor or some metal. The reason is very simple. If you assume any metal, aluminum or copper, the copper, if you talk about the copper have resistivity of 1.67 10 raised to power minus 8 ohm meter. And if you assume very good soil with 10 ohm meter, and if you compare the resistivity offered between the two, there is a difference of 1 crore times. We have to take care of the living beings around the vicinity of substation or the premises where we are providing that system. The functioning of protection system under fault conditions, especially SLGs, single line to ground fault. That is the most common fault in our electrical system. 98% faults are comprises of SLG. You need proper earthing system so that the protection system installed can isolate the faulty portion quickly. Now, what happens when that fault current starts flowing into that soil through electrode or your earthing system, you can say, or grounding system, you can say. If it is going directly metal to the source, there is no involvement of earth, soil. But in case your source is far away from the point of fault and it takes helps of the soil in that vicinity, then comes one concept that is called earth surface potential. When we talk about touch potential, step potential, that comes in the picture whenever there is a earth surface potential because of flow of current in the soil. Apart from all four factors, you have to provide path of discharge for electrical unwanted energy that may be through your lighting. For all these factors, you need some good earthing or grounding system. You have to design all these things as per IS 3043, IS 732, CBIP manual 339. You can refer IEEE 80. You can refer IEEE 142. You can refer IEEE 1100. You can refer NEC code. You can refer 62340. You can refer BS 7630. Any regulations you can refer, even CA regulations talk about CA Safety Regulation 2010 gives very good point related to the safety to be maintained. We talk about grounding, earthing, but sometimes we miss one concept of bonding. To illustrate that thing, I am taking help of that picture. If you look at that picture, there are bonding and grounding are shown. If you look at the very first picture on the top, there is one pump, there is one steel pipe, both are bonded together. In the second part, your steel tub is grounded separately, your pump is grounded separately. The third picture, pump is grounded, your steel tub is grounded, and these are bonded together. When all three things comes together, that becomes the actual bonding system with grounding. That is called equipotential bonding or grounding. We usually miss that thing during implementation, during commissioning. We usually miss all these things. When we miss all these things, our system becomes unearthed. Unearthed is nothing, it is disaster. Coming back to technical points, what happens when fault happens and how that fault current in the systems go back up to the point of source is depicted in that picture. If you look at that picture, a fault happened and it took two paths, electrode 1, electrode 2, then it took help of that Mother Earth to go back to the source. And at the point of source, where that neutral of your generator or your transformer, whatsoever it may be, connected to or inserted in the earth, enter back to that earth to that point. This is the small brief story about the flow fault current to the source. If we can understand this basic concept, I am quite sure we can learn the philosophy, the theory, the cause, root cause of fault in the systems and the fire. This is an analogy of fault current path with one ambulance on road. Whenever we come across, we see one ambulance on road, as a good citizen, we always give way to that ambulance to reach hospital, because we start thinking about the patient in that ambulance. The ambulance will help that patient to reach to hospital in time so that the life can be saved. Here, our costly equipment, my living stocks are my patient at the time of fault. We have to give some dedicated path so that it can reach to the source in minimum time. and we can save costly equipments, living beings, and we can avoid fire. Because when you are not providing the proper path, high resistance, high voltage, high arcing, and it may lead to any disaster and delay in operations of your protection system. We have to be very much careful. This is about Earth surface potential. What happens? We talk about GPR, touch potential, step potential. What actually that is? That is because of that Earth surface potential lines on the surface you are standing upon. That picture depicts that concept. Between your 2 feet, that is your touch potential. And when your one hand is touching any object, and potential different, that your hand and the feet where you are standing gives your touch potential voltage. If it is more than the tolerable touch potential voltage of your body, you will get a shock. Yes, you will get a shock. When I say shocks, and that shock depend duration, magnitude, frequency, the path taken by that current through your body. It also depends whether it's AC or DC. It is low frequency or high frequency, man or woman. Many good documents are available, and you can read IC 60479 part 1 to part 5. To have more clarity on effect of fault current or current on human beings and living stocks. This is Faraday's cage effect, the effect we use to protect our delicate electronics equipments. And sometimes we use that effect to protect our system against lighting. We have to use SPD. We usually neglect that thing for the LEV for domestic and industrial buildings that provide that equipotential system and that help you to avoid failure of your costly gadgets. To avoid that thing, what happens? We design our lightning system based on IS 2309 that has already been obsoleted and that has already been now guided by that IC 62305 part 1 to part 4, and we have to do the risk assessment as per the 62305 part 2, and based on that we have to choose accurate SPD. The same requirement also given in that IS and regulations. This is the electric shock I have already explained. What are the main causes of electrical fires? The very first cause is electric overcurrent. Harmonics I have already defined. Earth fault, electric arcs, overvoltage, and lightning. What is short circuit? When you make shunt connection between the load and you don't allow that current to flow through the load and you provide some shortcut path that becomes short circuit. And in short circuit, you provide negligible resistance in the path of that current, and that because of negligible impedance in the path, that values becomes very high. And because of the very heavy current, the temperature rises. If your conductors, your protection systems are not sensitive enough, definitely the fire may happen. Fire may start. Ignition will be there. Because to start any fire, you need heat, fuel, and oxygen. Heat is provided by that fault current. Fuels are the combustible materials in the vicinity of that wires or some electrical equipment, and oxygen is available in abundance. Failure of insulation, that may be due to some error, faulty outlets, plugs, use of wires under your carpets, or also sometimes become the cause of this insulation failure. Be careful. Overloading of sockets, these are the very common scenario. We have to think about it. Selections of MCB. Basically, 3 types of our MCBs are there, and we have to choose our MCB based on our application B, C, or D. For your B type MCB, usually that operating time is 5 times of the rated current. For C type, it is 10 times, and for D type, it is 20 times. Based on your requirement, kindly choose your MCB and look at the tripping curve. And be careful, there are 2 tripping mechanisms within the MCB. One is your overloading, and second is short circuit. And third important factor is the current, short circuit current capability of that MCB. 10 kiloampere, 20 kiloampere. Where you have to use that MCB, where you have to use MCCB, where you have to use ACB. How to select your wire, class B, class 5, plays very important role. You have to understand different earthing in LV systems. TNS system, TNCS system, TNC system, TT system, IT systems. And based on your requirement, you have to select protective devices associated with all these systems. Where you need OCPD, where you need OCPD with RCD. You have to be very much careful. These are the comparisons of all systems of earthing we usually come across in LV systems: TT, TNC, TNS, IT. These are the pictures depicting the harmonics being generated. Lightning protection for building, down conductor, Franklin rod, electrode, 3 basic components of any lightning protection. We have to be careful about unprotected structures, and we have to give proper equipotential bonding. We have to be very much careful about the arc flash hazard that may happen, and at the time of that arc flash, the temperature rises up to that 19,000 degrees sometimes. That is beyond imagination. Arcing ground, it usually happens when your system becomes ungrounded. The earth electrode connected to your neutral system of your transformer, distribution transformer specifically, disconnected from electrode, and in that case, whenever SLG happens, single phase to ground fault happens, the voltage of the healthy phases rises, and that convert into arcing ground, and your gadgets in that healthy phases area become faulty. It is very important picture differentiating between the consumer and the prosumer. Earlier, we were just consuming the electricity. Now, with solar PV and others renewable energy options available, we are producing the electricity and consuming the electricity in the same premises. That is also a cause of concern, cause of heat generation. This is a typical example I have taken. In that building, the power factor was 0.95 and all active energies were coming from distribution. Now, after installation of 60 kilowatt of solar PV on the top, that reactive power was still there, but active power reduced. And because of that, there is some change in the power factor. And that we have to take care. Coefficient of grounding, COG, and effectively grounding system for EHV system to be looked into. All testings at the installation to be done. That includes continuity of conductor, insulation assistance of your SELV, PELV, or electrical separation, insulation assistance of floor and wall. Polarity you have to check. You have to check phase sequence, additional protection, voltage drop. All these tests to be performed as per IS 732. This is a picture showing the fire in power transformer. This is the pictures of damaged transformer. I am moving towards end of my presentation because of the paucity of time. And we have to take care when using electricity because it has power to kill. We have to give full attention to safety. Safety means you have to take care of skull, arms, face, ears, eyes, toes, and yourself. We have to choose our fire extinguishers carefully for A type, B type, C type. We have to keep in mind this T, pass, twist, pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep rule when you come across any fire and you have to use some fire extinguishers. This is the last slide and final takeaway of my presentation. I am going to give you 9 rules. That rule says.
Thank you very much.
That 9C takeaway says that first of all, you have to be very much careful in correct rating and specification. Commissioning of equipment must be done carefully. Connection with earthing systems, you have to maintain clearances, you have to provide proper cooling, heat dissipation. You have to provide contamination-free system. You have to do condition monitoring, and you have to do coordination of your relay, and you have to do careful use of the equipments. If you apply that 9C formula wherever you work, it will reduce the chances of fire, reduces the chances of accident, and gives safe atmosphere to your premises. Last but not the least, safety comes first. It is not the end, it is just a beginning. Now, I request everyone to take a pledge to make our India free of accident because of poor earthing. Kindly write down yes in your chat box. If you want to be the part of my journey, your journey for our nation, and make India accident-free India, that is a dream of Rajesh. Kindly write yes, I pledge. Poonam ma'am, have you written?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I take this pledge to
Okay.
make
What about
a
others?
healthy India.
What about others?
So many of them here is written yes.
I
Dr.
request
Krishna
everyone
Kumar.
present here kindly write yes and start your journey of that accident-free India with me.
It's great. Many of them have taken this pledge. They all are saying yes.
And thank you. And I'm going to stop sharing.
It was a great session by you, sir. And as an electrical engineer, I too have learned many things from you. And even I have not noticed this mobile IS certificates and ISO points in my mobile chargers. Now let us take some questions, sir. Venkat Ramana says how the frequency affects.
Okay. Frequency, I have already explained. When we talk about frequency, my purpose is harmonics. And to get more effect of harmonics, I'm going to share one of my paper I have written recently, and I will be sharing that one. And secondly, when I say frequency, it has direct relationship with your shock current. When the high frequency start flowing through your body, the impact is comparatively less because the high frequency current, as per the experiments done by many people across world, this is not my finding. The findings I have taken from R&D already done by many eminent personalities. That high frequency current flows through the surface of your body, and that is comparatively less dangerous as compared to low frequency current.
I hope Venkat Ramana sir have got their answer. Now Santosh B says how the step and touch potential is maintained in concrete floor instead of gravel spreading in the switchyard area. In many PGCIL substation, kindly enlighten us, sir.
Okay, you want to talk about the PCC or concrete surface?
See, sir, he wants to know the step and touch potential is maintained. How the step and touch potential is maintained.
When it comes to substation, there are some procedures to check the tolerable and actual calculated touch and step potential. In your design, you have to ensure that the attainable touch and step potentials are less than the tolerable touch and step potential in the designing. And that designing is done as per IEEE 80.
And one more question, Venkatesh ji, from Venkatesh ji. Do we have any standards for providing insulators to earth strip from top of building to ground?
Insulator, you are talking about? Yes, the reference has already been given in IC 62305. They usually talk about how to bring that down connector from the top of building to that electrode. Some provisions they have already mentioned.
Okay, sir, these were the questions. And I feel it was a great session. And now I request all of you to join IAEMP, as in IAEMP we proudly claim that IAEMP is a unique organization with a unique time-bounded mission. We are preparing action plan for India's energy independence by the year 2022. We are with a unique slogan, conscience keeper of the nation on energy matters. And friends, I'll share you the links of Facebook and LinkedIn here in chat box. Please subscribe to our social media and be the member of IAEMP.
Thank you everyone for your patience listening. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful civil, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sir,
sir. Thank you, Dr. Rajesh. Thank you so
sir,
much.
thank you, sir. Have a small question.
Please continue.
Sir, if not disturbing you. Sir, actually, sir, myself, Krishna from Telangana state. Should we integrate the lightning protection and system earthing, sir?
Yes, definitely. We have to.
And one more question is, sir. Actually, when the design comes for a high soil resistivity, the people are preferring for two different earth mats.
Actually, that depends on design, but that should not be done in the same premises.
Pardon, sir?
You want to say that in the same premises, two earth mats are being constructed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In the same premises, one actually, when we come to some hydel power stations, we will having some powerage area and surge pool area.
But both earth mats are bonded together.
Yes, both are bonded together.
Yeah, that can be done.
That can be done, sir. Sir, and one more thing, is there any restriction for a number of earth points, or just looking at the active conductor is enough?
That depends on the design.
Yes, sir. In design, as per IS 3043 or IEEE 80, we generally follow. We are looking for active length conductor like 1 by K or K by root is some formula will be there. Number of horizontal conductors and number of vertical conductors.
I understand. Actually, that depends on the earth mat spacing.
Yes, sir. But some of the clients are taking randomly choosing for every 10 meters of one pit.
No, that is
sir.
totally wrong. That is totally wrong. That must be designed properly.
Sir, is the actually that is not mentioned in 3043. I remember, sir. Number of earth pits.
But you can refer IEEE 80 for that one.
IEEE 84.
80. IEEE 80.
IEEE 80. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Any question? I am available.
So, what is the standard procedure for earthing for the solar system, sir? Because there is a AC, there is a DC, and there is a lightning protection. So, can we combine, or there should be separate thing earthing for this?
There is very good chapter on solar earthing in CBIP manual 339, and I have written that chapter number I think 14. Otherwise, you can refer many other guidelines of specifically for your solar system. I will share with you. Both all can be connected, but you have to be careful while designing the impact.
Sir, one
Is there
question.
any standard, sir? Is there any standard for wave bridge earthing?
For
Wave bridge?
wave reach?
Yes, sir. Wave bridge, which were weighing the trucks, etc.
I don't have any idea, sir. I don't have any idea.
Sir, one question from my side. Maheshwar Prasad from Patna. Sir, nowadays we have seen the increased case of death due to lightning. So, is there? I think it is maybe due to tree cutting, long tree, palm tree, or like that. This cutting may be caused. And what is the main reason?
Actually, when you talk about the lightning, the probability of lightning depends on the lightning strikes probability in that area. It is not true that it always strike on the high object. It can strike on the low objects also. But whenever you stuck in lightning, you have to be very much careful. You have to take your step wisely. You don't have to run. You have to move with a very small step. You don't have to touch any metallic object. That is the only way out. Only possible way to get rid of the lightning attack on human body.
Cases have increased, sir. Initially, it was not like that. A few years back, it was not like that.
Actually, when you say the people died in lightning, it is because of ESP, I have already mentioned, Earth surface potential, and that lead to your touch and step potential.
In the mid of the session, I was seeing many people have raised their hands. So all of you have got your answers or any questions? Any?
सर एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहूंगा
प्लीज
सर हार्मोनिक्स से फायर हैजार्ड कैसे होता है
हार्मोनिक्स से
फायर हैजार्ड
ओके जब आपका हार्मोनिक्स रहेगा तो आपका पावर फैक्टर डिटेरियोरेट होता है जब पावर फैक्टर कम होगा तो टू टेक केयर ऑफ द सेम लोड यू नीड मोर करंट
ओके ओके
जब ज्यादा करंट जाएगा तो आपका हजार्ड होने के चांसेस बढ़ते हैं
ओके
एक्चुअली सर हॉस्पिटल्स जो बर्निंग हो रहे हैं जो आग लग रहे हैं उसके मेन कारण हमको एक और दिखता है कि इनिशियली हॉस्पिटल का डिजाइन जो डिफरेंट एक सर्टेन लोड पर होता है बाद में दे आर एडिंग द इक्विपमेंट
बिल्कुल 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 बिल्कुल
and due to that may be main cause.
Yes, this is the one of the cause. I have already mentioned in my presentation overloading without planning. Okay, thank you.
Rajesh Jain sir, you have raised your hand. You can ask your query.
No, I asked the question. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.